Today in the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we are going to be talking about Stephanie Vaquer and how she went and signed with WWE and did not do business the way she's supposed to as far as finishing her dates. Also, we're going to be talking about what happened to Toni Storm this past week on AEW Dynamite. Plus, Konnan and Bischoff looks like they're teaming up to go against Tony Khan on Twitter and the stupidity that we keep seeing on Twitter with these two. So we're going to be talking about that and much more in the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Let's get this.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and we're going to jump on this and not waste any time and whatnot. Let's talk about the biggest story that happened this week in pro wrestling. As of Monday, or pretty much Tuesday, but she did sign on Monday with WWE. Stephanie Vaquer joined WWE and whatnot. Even after she joined, I mean, it was crazy. It was before she gave up her CMLL World and Tag Team titles, I believe was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, Stephanie Vaquer, WWE did not know what she was up to because Stephanie Vaquer back, I believe, was 2015. Or 2016, somewhere around there. She did a tryout with WWE. WWE did not take her. And this was in the Vince McMahon era. Pretty much, WWE pretty much forgot about her. If it wasn't until Forbidden Door that she wrestled Mercedes Moné, where WWE saw her and liked what they saw with her. Now, Stephanie Vaquer, of course, she carried Mercedes Moné on the Forbidden Door match. I mean, that's everybody was even saying it after the event was over. They were like, if the AEW does not sign Stephanie Vaquer, they'll lose big time. But here was the problem. AEW couldn't sign Stephanie Vaquer because she was under contract with CMLL. Now, was CMLL going to allow her to sign with AEW, which didn't make no sense because CMLL right now is working with AEW and she could show up at AEW at any time. But when she dropped the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's title, I was kind of bewildered because I was like, how in the world this woman's going to lose to Mercedes Moné again? Because she had lost those stuff to Mercedes Moné when the Women's Strong Openweight title tournament happened. And this is when Mercedes Moné pretty much broke her leg against Willow. Now, this is the bugged out part. You know what I'm saying? So nobody really put mind to that because she's still the CMLL Women's World Champion and the Tag Team Champion. So let's go forward now. As of Monday, there was a report going around that she had offers with WWE and AEW. I found it funny. I'm like saying to myself, well, she's not going anywhere. She's not going to WWE because, turns out reports came that she was backstage at the NXT Heatwave on Sunday. So basically, WWE was already talking to this woman, probably without CMLL knowing, or CMLL knew, because reports came in that CMLL, when one of their talent get offered by WWE, they don't get in their way. But see, CMLL and New Japan are not mad at Stephanie Vaquer because of that. Okay. They're pretty much mad because she did not fulfill her dates. This woman had dates all the way to Germany, all over the place. Even if Fantania Mania, whatever the hell it is, that's in San Jose. CMML was like, well, okay, WWE has offered you a contract. We'll let you go, but please fulfill the dates and whatnot, so you could drop your world title and the tag team title, and you go on your way. She didn't do that. She instead went and signed with WWE 2 days before she was scheduled to wrestle Tessa Blanchard in Mexico. Okay. And then that's when she announced that she was leaving CMML and New Japan Pro Wrestling due to personal reasons. The personal reason, there was really no personal reason. It's because she already had signed with WWE. Now, at first, when I heard this report, I said to myself, well, can it be that WWE again is tampering with wrestlers like they've done in the past? Now, a lot of you WWE drones and fans are going to be upset because I'm bringing this up. And I mean, I saw a stupid post where somebody told me on Twitter that there's no such thing as tampering with contracts. Yes, it is. They went and tried to use AEW as an example. They quote was, oh, AEW was talking to WWE wrestlers before they had finished their contract, which is bullshit because it was the other way around. WWE was trying to get in contact with wrestlers already contracted by AEW. They did it with MLW. Okay. So they're known for that. So that was the first thing that came into my mind. But what I see now is that this woman pretty much burned the bridges. Pretty much burned her bridges. Because now you better hope to God that you get pushed like the star that you've been in Mexico and in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, a lot of people say, oh, she's going to be a star because now Julia's coming in and whatnot, and then Julia and Herb. Okay, so you could put her against Julia, and then what? The rest of the NXT women's division is not that great. Now, again, WWE doesn't care, and this is why I laugh when people talk about, oh, the Forbidden Door. There's no such thing as Forbidden Door when it comes to the WWE. All they're doing is, as far like, especially with the TNA situation, they're going to go after Jordan Grace when her contract ends at the end of the year, this year, and she's going to end up in WWE. And Moose, when his contract is up, boom, he's going to come in. That's the only reason. After that, they don't care. They already brought Joe Henry, which everybody's going crazy. Oh, you mention his name, he'll show up. Joe Henry is a fucking mid-card wrestler. That's what he is. I don't care what anybody says. And if he was such a big star, he would have been already should have been in WWE a long time ago, or AEW, one of them. And if it's not being pursued, if you think about it, what are you going to tell me otherwise? So WWE doesn't care about any other promotion but themselves. Okay? So with them doing this, everybody's upset at AEW. Oh, well, why AEW didn't jump on it? Because she was under contract with CMML. There was no point of giving her a contract. If CMML and New Japan works with AEW, she could go, that's what it's called, a forbidden door. She could come in through, have a wrestling match, and go right back to her respective promotion and still be the champion. Okay? But I think this was already in the works on the down low. This was already on the down low on the works. There's no other way to put it. There is no other way to put it. Because she signed on Monday. And these reports started coming in Monday where record.com or whatever the hell is it covers the Lucha Libre said that WWE and AEW had offered Stephanie Vaquer a contract. I laughed. I posted it on my group, on my Facebook group, and said she ain't going nowhere because Fightful Select even reported her contract was that she had a lot of time in her contract. And people were, me, myself, of course, and other people that I, talked to on Twitter and on Facebook that said this don't look right. This looks shady. This looks like some tampering shit. At first, I thought it was some tampering, but no, the woman herself burned bridges herself. She went and signed with WWE on Monday. I want you to listen to that. Monday. So this is the day after NXT Heatwave. So she was there already with the mindset of I'm going to sign. And this CMML knew this was going to happen. Okay. Did she tell WWE I'm going to fulfill my contracts, my dates? She did. And a lot of people pay money to go see her. Now, of course, AEW sent Willow Nightingale. I forgot who was the other. Juvia is also going to be part of that, and somebody else is going to be part to to fill in because she got stripped of those belts on Wednesday. And she thanked the fan in Mexico after she defeated Tessa Blanchard and whatnot. But again, she best to hope that she does well in WWE, because now if she doesn't go do well in WWE and is lost in the shuffle and whatnot, she can't go back to Mexico. The only place I could see her going back is AAA, because Konnan, Konnan's picking up anybody now, because Konnan's a crybaby, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But that's the only place I see her going back to AAA if she was to fail in WWE. I wish her the best of luck, but that is not the way to do business. You tell WWE, I want to fulfill my dates. I'm sure they'll let you fulfill your dates. You didn't want to fulfill your dates. There was even rumors about some wrestler who supposedly assaulted her in Mexico. I forgot the guy's name, but and he was supposed to be coming out soon, and that was because she was leaving. That was the rumor going around. Not true. She decided to leave because I guess she always wanted to wrestle in WWE, and WWE is going to keep looking at AEW, what they have, or who's coming in at AEW. Somebody told me that AEW needs to stop showcasing all these wrestlers. No, because it's part of them working with other promotions. They can't control what happens. They don't need to be showcasing anybody. There's YouTube. Anybody go on YouTube and look at a certain individual. It just doesn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense of her doing what she did, because now she burned bridges. There's no way, CMLL was pissed off. So was New Japan, because that was a bad way to do business. A bad way to do business. Also, let's move on now with the AEW. What happened this Wednesday? Now, again, people talking about Triple H and HBK are cooking. Well, guess what? TK is cooking, and if he's not cooking, his cookers are doing the cooking now, because it looks like last 2 weeks AEW has brought up 2 great weeks of wrestling back to back, and we saw Mariah May win the Owen Hart women's tournament. Okay. And the ending of it was amazing. And I say that because Mariah May ended up attacking Toni Storm after she won the Owen Hart tournament. She grabbed the pink belt and smashed Toni Storm with the belt, busting her wide open. And at one point I saw how she ended up hitting Toni Storm with the shoe, and she was hitting her hard. You could hear the smacking of the shoe right in her face. The ending of this situation left me wanting more. This is what AEW should have been doing from the beginning of this year. Now this leads me to believe that Tony Khan is not the one booking everything. He must be having help, because now all these storylines going on. We saw Chris Jericho this week take out Samoa Joe. The only reason that Samoa Joe was written off TV this week because he's going to go and continue filming Twisted Metal, Metal Twisted, whatever the hell. He's going to be doing that until October. Okay, the Swerve Strickland situation now. He's going to wrestle Okada, which I think they're giving this match for free, but then it's the AEW 250 episode, and when I saw next week is going to be hot and whatnot, so it sounds like a good situation going on. But Mariah May attacking Toni Storm this week pretty much shows you that most likely Mariah May is going to win the AEW Women's Championship at All In. And I believe Mariah May is from England. I could be wrong, but that is going to be something for people to watch, because Mariah May is a very good wrestler. Everybody seeing her, and she's following Toni Storm, but this woman was in Stardom. She was part of a tag team and whatnot. I forgot the girl's name. She just wrestled Toni Storm. They were tag team champions. This woman has won championship in Japan. She ain't no slouch. They put it that way. She is not a slouch. So she's doing very well. That whole storyline. Now, there was already rumors that Mariah May was going to turn on Toni Storm. And I figured, well, could it be after the tournament? But it happened on the same night, on the finals of the tournament, when she attacked Toni Storm. Tony Storm was a mess. I mean, and then the aftermath, they did a bit of video and it showed that Mariah May shows her real evil side. She was walking in the back, had a mark of blood on the side, and just had this evil cold stare at the camera, which is great. And then they did another clip where they showed Tony Storm coming from the stage area, coming into the back, bloodied up, people helping her. She really didn't say nothing. Now, my question is, are we going to see the old Tony Storm come back, or she's still going to be doing this type of Tony Storm? But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. And, but AEW was cooking this week and cooking last week and whatnot. And finally, this is the part that I wanted to talk about because it's interesting. A couple of weeks ago, well, I think a week ago, Konnan got chewed up by Tony Khan because I don't know if it was a podcast or he was dealing with somebody. He called AEW female talent chick, and Tony Khan did not appreciate that. He felt like he disrespected her, whatever, and he felt that don't talk to none of his talent that way. Konnan, in return, was talking about, keep living in that bubble, whatever, blah, blah. Something is coming, doing threats online, whatever. Here comes Eric Bischoff and Konnan on the day that Stephanie Vaquer joined WWE. These two fools decided that they want to go to the podcast and bash Tony Khan for not signing Stephanie Vaquer. And it goes to show you that these two clowns, the hatred they have for AEW, has nothing to do with how Tony Khan is booking, how he got his talent. It's all because he never offered them a job. This has been going on for 2 years. Remember, when Proud and Powerful was in AEW, they brought in Konnan at one point. And he came, I think, in 2 episodes, and then he got erased from the storyline. Eric Bischoff showed up at 2 segments. One with him was moderating a meeting between Orange Cassidy and Jericho, and that's it. Bischoff wasn't even offered a job. Bischoff now goes to his 83 weeks podcast and constantly is bashing AEW, talking about they did this and did this, that. Same thing with Konnan. Konnan, he's a dummy. And I'm gonna say he's a dummy because, first of all, you're bashing AEW, but you work for AAA. AAA and AEW were working at one point. Now the latest, and now they're putting out their lies. And I'm going to tell you why they're telling lies. Let's start off with Eric Bischoff. Bischoff went and posted somebody's, I think it was Pro Wrestling, I don't know, whatever it was, in Twitter, that AEW lost to NXT this week. I believe NXT has 656, right? But the funny thing is that this person who tweeted this didn't put how much AEW did this week, which I in return went and posted, boom. This is what AEW did this week with 691,000 views compared to NXT. So NXT lost to AEW this week. But here comes Bischoff. Bischoff goes and put these false information and whatnot to his little goons on Twitter, and everybody buys it. Same thing with Konnan. Konnan went on a rant. I don't know where it was, where he claimed that AEW never send them top talent to AAA and whatnot. Now, this man got to be smoking something. He's high. He's drunk. Because, first of all, the Young Bucks were the AAA tag team champions. And I believe they defended those belts a couple of times against the Lucha Bros back in 2019. And so did Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega wrestled Andrade in Mexico. Kenny Omega was the mega champion in Mexico. So they go to show you that these guys, all they do is tell lies. Tell lies. They're bitter people. If you look at Konnan, Konnan looks horrible. Konnan looks like he's about 70 years old. The guy's not that old. But now you go because you got chewed up by Tony Khan. Now you want to go and tell lies. Same thing with Bischoff. Bischoff is a miserable fuck. There's no other way to put him. He's miserable. The guy is miserable. He is mad. He's upset because he doesn't have a job. Nobody cares. It's funny from a guy who wants to constantly push the narrative that AEW is not doing a good job. Meanwhile, this is the same guy who was running a multi-million-dollar company at one point, and it went down the toilet. Okay, all because he put something this week where I had to say something where he mentioned about Mercedes Moné, whatever. And I said to myself, well, first of all, how did WCW did on your first G of you taking over? Because I remember correctly when he took over, it was in 93. And WCW was horrible. And it wasn't until 94 when it started picking up. And then they brought in Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan then brought in Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He brought in Earthquake. He brought in, who else they brought in? Tugboat. He brought all these people in and whatnot, just to make it look like it was a former WWF stuff and whatnot. And then he get it rolling onto Eric Bischoff went and stole the NWO gimmick from New Japan and brought it into WCW and went and played that shit out for like 2 years, and then WCW died. So first of all, the NWO was not your idea. You stole that idea from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay? And the rest is history. And whatnot. Now people want to say, well, Bullet Club stole that from NWO. Well, guess what? Scott Hall and Kevin Nash gave the blessings to Finn Balor and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to do the Too Sweet thing. See, but that's the thing. People don't do research. The thing that kills me every time I listen to these podcasts, I listen to these people, critics and whatnot, all they do is talk crap. Because even a podcast will claim he's number one in the YouTube app or whatever, and the IWGP say he never knew about Stephanie Vaquer and whatnot. He never seen it. He never cared for her. But all of a sudden now, because you're going to WWE, now you care. You know what I'm saying? Now you care. That's the thing. That's the difference between me, a professional wrestling fan, to these clowns who claim they're wrestling podcasters, but they only follow one promotion. Okay, and the tribalism and all this bullshit is because guys like Eric Bischoff, guys like Konnan, guys like Jim Cornette, and all these other clown cultaholics, all this Zero News and the Ringside News, all these are people who want to be journalists and whatnot, and don't have no how to say that? I can't find the word right now. They just doing for shit for clout, in other words. You know what I'm saying? Their allegiance is to one promotion. I mean, and I can't blame only WWE fans, because you got the AEW elitists who just talk out of their ass and whatnot, and sometimes they're wrong and whatnot. Or I want to see this, I want to see that. Usually the AEW fans, some AEW fans got this mentality that, I want to see this right away. They don't want to see storyline. Or they'll say, they should do like WWE. No. They shouldn't be doing anything like WWE. They're the alternative. Why would you do anything like WWE? None. That doesn't make sense. Makes no damn sense. But I think I spoke enough and whatnot. And, so that is my rant this week and my opinion on this whole Stephanie Vaquer, the Tony Storm, and the Bischoff and Konnan versus Tony Khan Twitter feud that's been going on for a couple of years already and whatnot. But guys, if you want to follow me and whatnot, you see it all right there. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, the X, formerly known as Twitter, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, I'm part of the Joners Podcasting Network. Shout out to my boy, Mr. Scott from UK and whatnot. Again, this is going to be very interesting coming up the next couple of weeks. Blood in, blood out. I'm still not happy that the Acclaim is going to be part of the Bloods and Guts. I keep saying blood in, blood out. I don't know why. It's Bloods and Guts. They're going to be part of that, supposedly, and whatnot. So, and the reason they're going to be part of that is because FTR is out. So we don't know when Dax Harwood is going to do. I was watching a couple of matches from last month, and he had that patch on his back, and I don't know how he wrestled. You got to give it to him, to Dax Harwood, putting up that whole situation. So, but that's it for me today, guys. Again, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on the X, follow me on YouTube. Also, guys, if you want to listen to this on audio format, follow me on Apple, Spotify, and Apple Music. Oh, actually not Apple Music, Amazon Music. So you can check that out. Also, check out my t-shirts and hats and hoodies and go to tcwr.veryinkpressive.com because we are available on YouTube and we're also available on TikTok. I'm waiting for hit the 1,000. Once I hit the 1,000, not likes, subscribers, I think it is, or whatever, followers, then we're going to be taking it to another level with TikTok. We're going to do the TikTok. Most likely I'll probably do that on Thursday. Still waiting, and thank you for keep supporting the podcast, guy. Keep supporting. Okay, to support, I like I said, you could check out my podcast store. It's TCWR. Again, that's TCWR.veryinkpressive.com. And whatnot, you got your t-shirts, your hats, and hoodies in there. Check it out. Support the podcast, and I will appreciate it and whatnot. And continue to support the podcast and whatnot. Until then, guys. I will see you guys next week and whatnot. I'll probably have a special guest next week and whatnot, and we'll talk more about wrestling and the things going on. Till then, guys, be safe, and I'll see you guys next week.